in Bria or down in Asiya, but they remain the same. The first 3 of the 10 is Chabad, Chachma, Bina, and Das, the famous wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. Right? This is also called this is the attributes of the intellect. Then the lower 7 ones are emotional attributes. They are kindness, strictness, and moisi. Right? That's Chesed, Gvura, Tiferes.
Have moisi.
Have Lord, have moisi.
Have moisi.
And then after that is victory, glory, and foundation, right? Netzach Yisod, called Nehi, and finally kingship, Malchus. Like Tzadok said before, that Rabbi Yossi embodied this Malchus is the lowest of the 10 attributes. Now Chagas is the feelings. So what's the difference between these emotions and those emotions? Chagas, the upper emotions, right? The kindness, strictness, and moisi. This is the feelings in the heart. Where Nehi, Netzach Yisod, like victory, glory, and foundation, these are the emotional attributes which bring the feelings into revelation, which happens through Malchus, which in general embodies thought, speech, and action. Like Malchus is like expression. It's the things that's used for expression is thought and speech and action. Now, by the same and somewhat connected token, there are 2 metaphors about how Hashem dresses himself in order to relate to us, and in turn it also allows us to relate to Hashem. One is the human image.
The man on the throne.
The man on the throne, like the supreme man on the throne in the heavens in the vision of the prophets. Chassidus explains that even though he has no body or no likeness of a body, when we speak about Hashem's right arm, it is a metaphor for his attribute of kindness. And when we mention the brain of the supreme man, it is a metaphor for how ungraspable, unknowable one dresses himself in the attribute of divine wisdom, in order that we should be able to connect with divinity, and we should be able to understand how to do his will in making the world a dwelling place for him. And in this way, since we have an attribute of kindness and we have an attribute of intellect, then from my flesh I will know God. Meaning, by understanding the man below, we can get an idea of being able to understand the man above, and more specifically, understand what it is he wants from us and needs us to do over here. That's the first allegory. The second one is names. That's right. I have one, you have one. But what is it? Well, you heard it here first, we'll tell you what it is. Like the name Kale, for example, Aleph Midlamed, represents the divine attribute of chesed, of kindness, while the name Elokim represents the divine attribute of gevura, strength, strictness. So if you call Hashem by a name that indicates wisdom, he emanates wisdom. For example, if you need a favor, right, from somebody, so when you petition this person, you will say it, you know, I'm coming to speak to you because you are such a kind person. Why are you saying this? Because you're looking to elicit from him his attribute of kindness. So when you're calling him, you're telling him about his kindness. So this is the same thing. When we call Hashem by the name Kale, for example, we are calling him, beseeching him, looking to elicit his attribute of kindness. Now Hashem is essentially removed and ineffable. But at the same time, he commands us to love and fear him. Now this begs the question, how can you command love and fear? Hey, you, love me right now. How can you command someone to love? How can you command someone to fear? But Hashem does not ask the impossible. And he provides a device to enable us to achieve love and fear. This device is our power to understand, each one to his own ability, the greatness of Hashem. Because when we will understand Hashem's unity, and we understand something of the greatness of God, His kindness and wisdom, etc., automatically we will love him. And the commandment to love Hashem, to understanding godliness, in order to love him, this is expressed in the famous prayer of Shema Yisrael, in the commandment of Shema Yisrael. Hashem commands us, hear, O Israel, meaning understand, O Israel. The Lord is our Hashem, is our God, Hashem is one. So hearing or listening doesn't mean listen to the voids of Shema, right, with the physical ear, but it means understanding what's being said. Shema, like, do you hear me? Are you understanding me? It means understand Israel. As the Rambam teaches that we have to understand three things. We have to understand that there is a God, that he is the first and continuous cause of all that exists, and three, that he is one, essentially, and even in his emanations and creations. Meaning, even once he's created everything and made everything, all the specific things down here, he is still one.
In them.
And in them one.
In the multiplicity.
Because they are all only him.
One.
So now, in summary, there are two metaphors for how Hashem connects to us. The first one is he connects to us in a way of the supernal man on the throne, that through understanding our own psychology and our own makeup, we can approach some understanding of Hashem, even though he really has no right arm, so to speak, but his right arm indicates his attribute of kindness, etc. Second of all, was the second metaphor is through his names, that when we call the name, right, the person who we're calling, he turns to the one calling him. And of course, like we said, with the name Kollel, when we call him a name of kindness, the way in which he turns to us is with the attribute of kindness. Right? It's just like when you call, when a little boy calls his tati, and he says tati. So right, by the way, his tati happens to also be a lawyer. But when they call him, Mr. Brownstein, then he turns around like a lawyer because they said Mr. Brownstein. But when the kid says Tati, who turns around? Not Mr. Brownstein, the lawyer, but Tati turns around. So this is the second one. Now, Chassidus teaches that there are four worlds, like we said before: Atzilus, Bria, Yetzira, Asiya. Right, the top world of emanation, which doesn't feel itself, it's not its own entity. And then the world of creation and formation and action. All four worlds are spiritual, but the fourth world also has a physical manifestation. Meaning the world of Asiya, the world of action, has a physical manifestation. And ladies and gentlemen, you are looking at it. This is out from it also. This is the physical manifestation of that world. Each world, like we said before, has how many attributes? Leib, how many attributes it has each world? 10, exactly. Now, Leib, you can be a mathematician.
10 attributes.
10 attributes for a world. Yeah.
That makes 24. Wait, what? The first three spheres of Chabad, like we said, which Chabad is the Hebrew acrostic form
Chagas.
for Chachma, Bina, Das. No, Chagas is later. It's for wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. Then comes the lower 7 spheres, the emotional spheres, which is first Chagas, right? The kindness, thickness, and mercy, followed by victory, glory, and foundation and kingship. Chassidus teaches that Hashem dresses himself in these attributes in order to relate to us. We can relate to Hashem by understanding his attributes and by calling out to him by his names. When we understand his greatness, we will automatically love him. And the commandment to love Hashem is expressed in the command, Shema Yisrael. How about that naked mic?
Oh, yeah, I didn't even prepare.
How about that beautiful niggin with the harmony? You know which one I'm talking about? All the animals in the zoo are looking back at you.
Hey ya 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 di da ya, ya ya di da ya, ya ya di da ya, si da ya 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 di da ya, ya ya di da ya, ya ya di da ya, si da ya yo, ya ya di da ya, ya ya di da ya, ya ya di da ya. Daya maya ya maya ya daya maya ya daya maya ya daya daya ya yo na di da manda ya ya maya ya hey ya daya ya yo na di da bamba maya ya maya ya hey ya daya ya hey ya ahoy yo na ya ya maya ya daya maya ya daya maya ya daya hey ya yo na daya ahoy ya ya daya ya ya daya ya ya daya What a beautiful meeting. By the way, hello to Frederick and Luigi. Thank you so much for joining us. It's so good to see you. Let me just check in over here 1 second. And Barry Silver, hello. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate it. Okay, and now we move on with the Chassidus. So now first we will explain the three dynamics. We're going back. Remember we said there's 4 worlds and 10 spheres. And the first 3 of the 10 spheres is the spheres of the intellect, Chachma, Bina, and Das, wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. So we will first go to explain these 3 attributes. So Chachma, wisdom, this is the light of an idea before it is dressed into words or letters of explanation. That's what Chachma is. It is the light of the idea before it is dressed in any words or letters of explanation, meaning the idea itself. Bina, understanding, this is the dressing of this idea. We have the intuitive idea, the Chachma, the idea itself. Now, when it's dressed into words and letters of explanation, this is called Bina. So now to understand this better, these 2 functions, we will illustrate it with an example of seeing something. So wisdom, Chachma, is like a person who sees a physical thing. At first glance, one grasps the object in his mind in only a general way. Therefore, he is not yet able to describe what he saw to another person in words and letters, Why? Because he has no idea of its measurements and its components. So he can't explain it to you. He's seen it, he knows it, he can't explain it to you. For example, when a person sees a beautiful building for the first time, he immediately perceives in his mind that this building is beautiful. And the reason we know this is as soon as he sees it, he goes, wow. He doesn't look at the building and then come back 5 minutes later and go, wow! No, right away he sees the building, he says, wow! And yeah, like that.
That's like when the first people see Gimel Aleph.
They go, wow! What on earth is that?
Then they meet Marvin.
No, the Kiddush wore off on me a long time ago.
Well, see, that's the point, because now you're Rabino. Anyways, so when he sees the building the first time, he immediately perceives in his mind the building is beautiful. However, the reason for its beauty, because it has a perfect combination of parts, right, different colors and measurements, has not yet been understood. Why? Because he has not yet distinguished and measured its details. So he's only seeing it in a general way. Therefore, he cannot yet explain its beauty in voids and letters to somebody who has not seen it. Now, understanding Bina, on the other hand, comes after the person has measured. Now, it doesn't mean with a measuring tape necessarily. It could be just measuring in his mind. And he distinguishes all the details of the building. When he does this, he automatically understands the reason for its beauty. For example, if he contemplates the details of the building and sees that it has a myriad of palatial rooms and the huge size and the placement in its landscape that makes it appear like a jewel set in the landscape, and then he understands why it's beautiful, and he can also explain this to somebody else in voids and letters. Now, the realization of the essence of the beauty when he first sees the building, this illustrates the intellectual level of chachma, wisdom, the idea itself, higher than voids and higher than the letters of explanation. However, the understanding for the reason for its beauty, why it's beautiful, this is not the essence of its beauty, but it is only an explanation for why it is beautiful. This explanation then is only a garment for the essence of the beauty, meaning for the beauty itself. That the same way that any explanation of an idea is only a garment to which one communicates the idea itself, but it itself is not the essence of the idea. So again, the essence of the idea is chachma, and the explanation of the idea is bina. Now, the essence of the building of the beauty illustrates wisdom. The explanation of why the building is beautiful is the garment that communicates an understanding of the essence of the beauty in voids and letters, and this illustrates the intellectual dynamic of bina.
Very clear. Thank you.
My pleasure. You're welcome, Itzali. The example of the building, we have a very good script writing team around here. The example of the building describes Chachma and Bina, now in the realm of the physical world of action. That is an allegory, that is we understanding something from the physical world. But now we will explain these two levels of Chachma and Bina as they connect and relate to expressing emotion. So we're going to go with a slightly more spiritual sort of, not such a physical material allegory now. Meaning, the measuring out in the intellect of how one should feel or act if faced with a certain situation. Like, for example, should I be afraid? Should I be happy when I encounter this thing? Or is this thing kosher? Is it not kosher? Or should I do a specific action if I encounter a certain situation or not? So
how about if you encounter an angry Mrs. LF?
Well, then we run. It's called the fight or flee. When we see Mrs. Elif, we flee, because if you stop, drop, and roll, you're gone. You see, you have to know in every situation what to do. So now, these examples are all in the realm of intellect, which pertains to emotion, called seichel of midis, the intellect of the emotion. They are not feelings. They are just measuring out in the intellect what the feeling should be. Right? This is why it's still in the intellect, because in the emotion comes the actual feeling. I'm going to feel this thing now. But in this point, it's just intellectual. In fact, there might not be any emotion at all, because this situation may not be in front of you. Let's say we're talking about a lion and how dangerous a lion is. And if you see a lion, you should be afraid, right? But it's not an emotion, because there's no lion standing in front of me right now. It's just the measuring out, so that when I see a lion, I'll know which emotion to have. It goes something like, I give out. Anyways, so these are not feelings, but just measuring out to the intellect what the proper emotional response should be. The emotion is called the realm of feelings, mides, while the measuring out in the intellect what should be the proper feeling when encountering something, this is the emotion of the intellect. One expression of how emotions are measured out intellectually is in determining if something is allowed or not allowed in Jewish law. Is it kosher or treif? Kosher, a thing which is allowed, this will be an expression of chesed, kindness, as determined by the intellect. Treif, a thing that is not kosher, something that is not allowed, this is an expression of gevura, strictness, as determined by the intellect. Like we see,
Isn't it determined by God and God's Gevurah? He's the one who made a separation.
Right, exactly. That's
in the
what
food.
he's saying.
you got it, exactly.
They're saying, and the godly man on the throne makes a decision. This is what I want. This is what I don't want. You're exactly right.
But he's an intellect, right?
Well, there's
He's just explaining by a person.
Yeah.
He measures out in his intellect how it should be. Do I like this thing? French fries are good. They taste good. They're healthy.
yeah.
But we're trying to understand how it is in the godly intellect. This is what I want. This is what I don't want. This is chesed. This is
Right, that's why God said French fries is good. It's good. And then he said bacon, bad for my blood pressure. Like we see in Tractate Beya in the Talmud, page 6b. In the case where Rav Kahana and Rav Ashi, they pointed out an apparent contradiction in the logic of their teacher, Rav. They challenged Rav on his decision that an egg born on a holiday is not allowed to be touched. It's muktzah. Even though Rav could not answer their logical objection.
Think if a chicken lays an egg
Yeah,
well,
correct.
I mean,
on Yom Tov.
yeah, I mean, or if a person lays an egg, but that's
Or a
unusual.
duck.
A duck,
but yeah, any egg, a boy lays an egg.
Kosher bird.
So
No, it's muktzah. You're not allowed to pick it up on Yom Tov.
Wow.
yeah, as long as you do it eating it at this point.
Oh, okay. Touching it.
Yeah.
Picking it up.
So, anyways, even though he could not answer their objection, because their objection was ma bein zeh what should never be yom tov. What's the difference between this and the calf that was born?
Born to
That was a
a straight
big-
mother.
Yeah. Anyways, so he disregarded their objection, even though he could not answer it. Why? Because his ruling of the law came to him in a way of seeing the truth, the chachma, the wisdom, higher than the level of weights and letters. Basically, he knew he was right, even though he couldn't explain why at that second. Because he apprehended the principle on a higher level than its explanations of letter and of the letters of understanding. Meaning that's why he couldn't explain it to them, even though he knew it was so. He apprehended the teachings through the seeing of Chachma, which is higher than the explanations. Not so Rabbi Bar Nachmani, who he came along and he understood Rav's reason with Bina. He contemplated on Rav's decision, and he was able to understand the logical reason why Rav indeed was right, according to logical explanations. Wow. And therefore he was able to give the reason and the explanation for Rav's decision. A reason expressed in logical thought, called an explanation, is how the intellect, the seichel, is dressed into the letters of thought and bina, called the understanding. And basically his answer was that zeh muchan agav imoy, that a calf is already a ready being, still even when it's in the womb, it is still a viable creature, and not so an egg. This is why Chachma is called the exalted nothing, the ayin, compared to Bina, which Bina is a tangible explanation. Bina is a yesh, a something, whereas Chachma is a nothing, an ayin. Chachma is higher than words and letters. It is an intuitive flash. Therefore, it is not explainable with voids of explanation. But Chachma, called the nothing, ayin, because it is an intuitive flash, is nevertheless considered a yesh in existence compared to the level above it. So compared to the bina below it, the logic and explanations, it is called a nothing. However, compared to what is above the chachma, it is a something, because the thing above it is a nothing. Like it says, chachma comes from the exalted nothing. Chachma me'ayin timotze. Therefore, it is an existence, a yesh, compared to the higher level which produces it, which is not experienced, felt, or grasped at all, not even as an intuitive flash. Remember, an intuitive flash may be above logic and explanations, but there is still an aha. There is a
existence.
Yeah, there is a that's a something. whereas the place where that chachma comes from, this is higher than even that, and there's no grasping of it at all. And now,
What's that called?
it is called the koyach hamaskil.
Rabbi Ella, can you say that again with the aha?
It is the
Not just
aha.
Yeah, like that.
Okay, how about a niggin leib?
Aha.
Oh wait, time out. Let me give you the summary first. How's that? Let's give the summary of what we just said so we remember it. There are three dynamics of intellect. Chachma, wisdom, understanding, bina, and knowledge, das. The difference between chachma and bina can be understood by using the examples of seeing a building. Chachma indicates the immediate perception of the essential beauty of the object without yet being dressed in voids of letters or explanations. While bina is the understanding for the reason of its beauty through distinguishing its particular details. Right? It's allowing it to be dressed in voids and letters of explanations. Chachma and bina relate to the expression of emotions and determining kosher, chesed, kindness, or treif, gevura, strictness, in Jewish law. Additionally, chachma is an exalted nothing compared to bina, which is a tangible explanation of something. Of course, like we said before, the chachma is a something compared to the nothing above it from where it comes out. Okay, wait. Hey, Look what Leib pulled out of his hat. Not too shabby. So now we talk about the third dynamic of Das. Das is knowledge. Das is not a level of pure seichel, chachma, nor is it a level of its explanation, bina. Rather, it is the bonding and the mental unification with the seichel, chachma, and the explanation, bina, through concentrating and focusing the mind on them. The bonding with the intellect through focusing and concentrating the mind on the idea, chachma, and the explanation, bina, can be illustrated by the example of two students who are equally smart and understand the teaching from their Rebbe equally well. But one of them focuses, concentrating on the teaching itself and the explanation. He concentrates his mental strength. He concentrates his mental strength and energy on this one teaching, until during that time he is divorced from all other thoughts and preoccupations, to the point that he even forgets his own existence.
Wow.
He forgets to eat, he forgets to sleep, he's so focused on this thing.
He doesn't feel himself at all. He only feels
Yeah, this-
the
yeah.
Is this called Devakus?
This is called Das.
Da. Okay.
The second student, on the other hand, although he is equally smart, he is not concentrating on the teachings as much, until the point that his thoughts can be wandering around and he's thinking about more pressing concerns, because he has a proclivity to think about other things lately. Therefore, he won't be able to dwell on the teaching at length after the class. The first student, on the other hand, he can think about this teaching and his understanding of it for a long time, explaining it clearly, because of the strength of his bond with this idea and his bond with the explanation of this idea, meaning his bond with the chachma and his bond with the bina. This is called the power of das, to bond with a concept, focusing through focusing the mind and concentrating on the idea and its explanation, meaning concentrating on the chachma, like we said before, the wisdom, right, and as well as the bina. He's focusing on these two things. Now, the source which allows one to concentrate on the chachma and bina, the source of das.
In other words, without the source, you would not be able to concentrate on the chachma and bina.
So the question is, how you be able to do this concentration? Okay, so it is a power that is called chush. Chush is a natural sensitivity or affinity. sometimes also called an ability or a talent, but which we will designate at this point as a natural inclination. Which that's why somebody, what does it mean when we say somebody's talented at something? We mean he's naturally inclined towards this thing. In the thing that he understands. For example, a person who is naturally kind, his soul is created to express the attribute of kindness. He will always generate a desire for good and kindness. Now, by the way, we're not, just so it's clear here, we're not talking about good and evil here, about good and bad. We're talking about kindness and strength. You could have a very kind person who's evil, and not only that, he uses his kindness to carry out evil. And you could have somebody who's a person of strictness, but he uses his strictness in a way to save Hashem. So we're not talking about good and evil. People sometimes they say kindness and strictness. People think of this as good and evil. It's not. These are emotional inclinations, and they can both be used. Each one can be used to save Hashem. So his soul is created, and he will always generate a desire for good and kindness. And the revelation of his desire for doing kindness is even higher than Chokhmah and Bina, meaning it's higher than his intellect. The seichel, which he will employ in actualizing the particular kindness he wants to accomplish. Now, in order to do a kindness, you're going to have to think. Why? Because, let's say there's a guy over there and he needs $1, and I'm a kind person, so I want to give him $1. Well, I have to do I have the dollar on me, or do I have to go to the bank?
Machine first.
Yeah, or if it's in my pocket and I've taken it out, then I got to go. I got to cross the street over here without getting hit by a bus. And so you have to think about it. But this is higher than all that, is his desire to do kindness. So before there can be a seichel of why and how to do a certain specific thing, there has to be a desire for the thing, a desire for this thing. And that desire is higher than the intellect of the how and why of doing it. Now the concentration of the mind on this revealed desire for a thing is called the chush, that he has in the thing at the time he desires it. So meaning when he's concentrating on the thing he desires, that is the chush in the thing at the time he desires it. And this chush, the mental bond and unification with the desire for a thing, is higher than the intellect. It's higher than Chokhmah and Bina. The chush actually causes the birth of the intellect and allows one to concentrate on the intellect when it becomes revealed in the brain. In other words, the chush, focusing and concentrating on the desire for a thing, is the source of the ability of das, which bonds the contemplator, the guy thinking, to the revealed idea, the Chokhmah and Bina, through concentrating the mind on them. So for example, if you hear a person playing a piano in the most beautiful way, and then I decide I would also like to play the piano like this guy. Now if the bond to that desire to play piano by concentrating on the desire I will produce my intellect, logical reasons why playing the piano is good, and so that's first of all, I will justify it in my brain why it's a good thing and why I should make time for it, and the reasons and how to accomplish it also. So also why and also how, all the logical things, and how to get it done, how to find a teacher, what kind of piano should I get, and not only will I produce a how to accomplish learning piano thing in my mind, I will also be able to concentrate on the ideas when they emerge. For example, so I'm thinking about, I come up with how to get the piano teacher, yeah? But not only that, but now when the piano teacher shows up at my door, I'm not going to, yeah, 1 second, the piano teacher, I'll be with you in a second, let me just grab this phone call. Piano teacher, hold on, why my WhatsApp over here? 1 second, I have a Skype over here. Time out, hold on, I'll be right with you. You see, you won't do that. Because when you have a chush, the piano teacher will show up. So not only did you figure out how to get him, but you'll also, when he comes, you'll sit and focus on what he's playing and showing you. And you'll ask him, wait, can you show me this part again? And you'll be very focused on it. Another example, and what a glorious example it is, Mitzali, is the example of learning Chassidus. If we concentrate and bond to our desire for the godliness contained in this same Chassidus that we are learning right now, we will be able to concentrate on the explanations of the Chokhmah and Bina of godliness that we are doing now. We will have the das to concentrate on this.
That's a mashal or a nimshal?
Yes.
It is the nimshal for these mashal.
Summary. The third dynamic of the intellect is called, right, the first one was Chokhmah and Bina. Chokhmah being the idea, the way it is, the intellect itself, the idea itself, and the Bina being the idea, how the idea is dressed in explanations, the letters of explanations. Now, the third dynamic of Das is the third one of the intellect that makes up Chabad, the intellectual attributes, is Das. It is not pure intellect like Chachma, nor is it an explanation like Bina. It is the mental bonding and unification with the Chachma and Bina through focus and concentration. The ability to concentrate on the Chachma and Bina comes from where? The Chush, a natural inclination, which this is the mental bond to the desire for the thing that the intellect is describing, such as our desire for the godliness that the Chassidus is describing. This desire for the thing desired is higher than intellect.
The higher desire.
The higher desire is then it's higher than intellect and allows one to produce logical reasons why this is a worthwhile desire to attain, and also how to accomplish attaining it. And of course, it also allows to bond to it while it's being attained, to concentrate. The mental bond to the desire, the chush, also allows for the mental bond to the revealed chokhmah and bina. We want Mashiach now.
The higher desire is worthwhile. I'm inspired.
Yeah, we got a niggin lane. What do we got?
Yeah.
The worthwhile desire is the higher desire.
Stop.
Oh, one time out. Let me time out.
Chaim, all of you people who are watching our glorious show.
Let's invite the buyer.
Let's invite the buyer to purchase the higher desire, and he'll be inspired.
Okay, and
Sometimes I make it rhyme.
Do we have a nigga?
yeah, we have a niggin. Here we go. Ready? Stavia pitu. Prapovia ya prapo sayo telitzu treba znati ya golati treba znati ya brechati yecheshivon etzedek Oh, Davati, Lebanon, Kazia, Oh, the Jati, Oh, Imi, Piem, Da, Piem, Dami, Bulgayi. Und men trinken Yain azoi v'mani. Und men zogen alle zusammen b'chadi. V'yato tishma. V'yin ha-shomayim. V'stav yapitu. Sobatu, oh, Sobatu. Hey, Prapovia, ya Prapo. Yayo, hey, Treba, znate, ya Gulati. Oh, Hershel oh, Davani, Pfeffer Panom, Chassidus, oh, Bechani, oh, Imidien, Pietapien, und man trinken ja in Azorin und man sagen alle zusammen wenn dort ist in what a great nigga. Where does he find this stuff?
Okay, everybody.
Where's the G?
Remember, kids, have an eye out for Rabbi Zeitz. It's going to be telling us a beautiful story.